I'm Ronald Esquadro, a Group 4 member and a Science Explorer.
Steve Ostenkui, a Group 4 member and a Science Explorer.
Edwin Gapo, a Group 4 member, Science Explorer.
I'm Ruth Bryce Binagawing, Group 4 editor.
I'm Alexis Tanyakaw, the Group 4 Financer.
Brian G. Fernandez II, the Group 4 leader.
The Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the fifth largest. The Earth is divided into several layers: the crust, the mantle, and core. The crust varies considerably in thickness. It is thinner in the oceans and thicker in the continents. The inner core and crust are solid, and the outer core and mantle layers are plastic or semi-fluid. The core is probably composed mostly of iron, though it is possible that some lighter elements may be present too. Temperatures at the center of the core may be as high, may be hotter than the surface of the sun. The lower mantle are probably mostly silicon, magnesium, oxygen with some iron, calcium, and aluminum. The upper mantle is mostly olivine and pyroxene, calcium, and magnesium. The crust is primarily quartz and other silicates like feldspar. Taken as whole, the Earth's chemical composition by mass is 34.6% iron, 29.5% oxygen, 15.2% silicon, 12.7% magnesium, 2.4% nickel, 1.9% sulfur, 0.05% titanium. But the question is that, why do earthquakes happen or occur?
Earthquake is what happens when two blocks of the Earth suddenly slip past one another. The surface where they slip is called the fault or the fault plane. The location below the Earth's surface where the earthquake starts is called the hypocenter. And the location directly above it on the Earth's surface is called the epicenter. Sometimes an earthquake has foreshocks. These are the smaller earthquakes that happen in the same place as the large earthquakes that follows. Scientists can tell that an earthquake is a foreshock until the large earthquake happens. The largest main earthquake is called the main shock. Main shocks always have aftershocks that follow. These are the smaller earthquakes that occur afterwards in the same place as the main shock. Depending on the size of the main shock, aftershocks can continue for weeks, months, and even years after the main shock.
Earthquake, also called trembles, can be so tremendously destructive, it's hard to imagine. They occur by the thousands every day around the world, usually in the form of the small tremors.
Plates move apart, you have a divergent boundary. Magma from the mantle wells up, creating new oceanic crust. As those plates pull apart on the opposite sides of them, they crash onto continental crust, which is less dense and thus more buoyant, causing the oceanic crust to dive under. This is known as a convergent boundary, or subduction zone. Oceanic crust dives back into the mantle, where the rock eventually melts. Some of this will rise to the crust and form volcanoes. When continental crust crashes into a continental crust, the similar density prevents from diving under the other. This is called the collision boundary. The plates push up against each other, creating mountain ranges. There is one more type of boundary, where plates slide against one another. As they slide against each other, energy is stored, and when the plates ultimately slip, all that energy is released in the form of an earthquake.
What causes earthquakes and where do they happen? The Earth has four major layers: the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and crust. The crust and the top of the mantle make up a thin skin on the surface of our planet. But this skin is not all in one pieces. It is made up of many pieces like a puzzle covering the surface of the earth. Not only that, but these puzzle pieces keep slowly moving around, sliding past one another and bumping into each other. We call these puzzle pieces tectonic plates, and the edges of the plates are called plate boundaries. The plate boundaries are made up of many faults, and most of the earthquakes around the world occur on these faults. Since the edges of the plates are rough, they get stuck while the rest of the plate keeps moving. Finally, when the plate has moved far enough, the edges unstick on one another of the faults, and there is an earthquake.
I got a feeling that the wind has changed and those leaves are starting to turn. Our hair's going gray and I must convey my figure has seen better days. Well, don't you despair, 'cause I got it made, a motto I choose to believe. If your life's a lemon, then make lemonade. There's always a final reprieve. It ain't the end of the world, buddy. Life rolls along like before. There's a twist and a turn to each lesson you learn. First you're up, then you're bust, living life on a crust. But it ain't the end of the world. It's only a fly in your soup. If your car falls apart or a broad breaks your heart, it's a stink, just a kink, nothing more.